Did you hear the good news? Marvel Studios is going to reboot Daredevil with a season 4. I don't know if that's good news. Why? Because I don't know if they're going to turn me into a beta like they did with Thor and all the other MCU heroes.
Coming to Kickstarter this June, John Haynes at Death's Door, the man who rules the world, takes on the Greek god of death in this action-packed all-new John Haynes comic book. Get your copy of the standard and variant editions of John Haynes at Death's Door and lots of other great stretch goal rewards on Kickstarter this June. Marvel Studios is planning to bring back one of its most popular Netflix series, Daredevil, to Disney+. Now, a couple of months ago, your Netflix lost all of the rights to the shows that they had made for their streaming service, Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and The Defenders. And those shows no longer are playing on Netflix. They are now playing on Disney+. And since these shows are featuring more harder and more graphic content, these shows are being featured on Disney Plus with a disclaimer for featuring more mature content. Now, your Marvel Studios Netflix characters have started coming into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we saw this with your Charlie Cox making his appearance in Spider-Man No Way Home. So it looks like your Marvel Studios is looking to integrate the Netflix characters into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that's where I have my concerns as related to this reboot of Daredevil and giving it a 4th season. Now, Marvel Studios has been really erratic as related to quality over the last phase, which is I call Fail 4, which is many they call Phase 4, and this Phase 4 has not really been good since Avengers Endgame. So since Avengers Endgame left the MCU with the conclusion of the Avengers story and the Infinity Saga, the quality of Marvel Studios products has really not been as consistent as it was during the first 20 movies of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And that's where I have some serious concerns as related to the quality of a 4th season of Daredevil, because even in the Netflix era, the adaptations over there had been struggling because we saw Jessica Jones just becoming a complete hot mess, The Defenders becoming really an indefensible program, Iron Fist turning into an Iron Simp, and we saw Frank Castle turning into a simp in Punisher Season 2 and acting completely out of character as your Frank Castle was turned into a Pookie and your Jigsaw was turned into Ray Ray. So Punisher Season 2 basically was just Pookie versus Ray Ray with guns, and it was a big disappointment. Now, the only high point of the Netflix shows was Daredevil Season 3, which was absolutely fantastic and giving us a direct translation of the Born Again storyline. I mean, Daredevil Season 3 was absolutely fantastic, and as I see it, one of the high marks of the Netflix era. And while I was clamoring for a Daredevil Season 4, I don't know if Marvel Studios is ready to give us the Daredevil Season 4 I know they could possibly give us if they bring back the same producers and directors who gave us that absolutely fantastic Daredevil Season 3. Now, I know the elements are there to give us a really great Daredevil Season 4, and I know that the storylines ended on a note that we're really setting up for some really compelling storytelling. I mean, with the ending of Daredevil Season 3 with Kingpin, Wilson Fisk, going to jail and losing his wife, there's a great motive there for your Kingpin to want to get revenge on Daredevil, and with your Bullseye getting his adamantium skeleton, we're looking at a great setup as related to Bullseye looking to get revenge. Now, there's another character who I know would fit organically into this reboot, and I'm hoping that if they do a Season 4, they reboot this character. Now, Typhoid Mary was introduced in Iron Fist Season 2, and this Typhoid Mary was absolutely awful and never captured the heart or the spirit of the Typhoid Mary from Ann Nocenti's classic run on Daredevil. Now, your Typhoid Mary, I believe, would really fit organically into Season 4 in looking to try to take advantage of the power void that the Kingpin left when he got arrested. And her looking to gain an opportunity to seize power would be very compelling, as she played off Wilson Fisk, who just came out of Hawkeye and is still dealing with the injuries he suffered there, and then also looking to go out here and play off Matt Murdock. And I believe there's a great story there as related to adapting that classic Ann Nocenti run with Typhoid Mary. I believe that there's an opportunity to really tell a truly great story, but I don't know if Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige can get their head out of their backside to go tell that story, because from what I've seen with the really awkward WandaVision, what I've seen with the really uneven Hawkeye, and what I've seen in the trailer for She-Hulk, I don't know if Marvel Studios is ready to give us a Daredevil that can really start building on the momentum of Netflix's Season 3 and really give us a dark, gritty version of the character who is dealing with somebody who can go out here and play head games because she's a mess in the head herself. There's a great psychological story there with your Typhoid Mary that can be told, but I don't know if your Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige have their head in the right space, because over the last couple of series, they have been focused more on social justice and identity politics rather than going out here and creating some really compelling stories. Moreover, they have been trying to water down many of the characters they have put on screen, so that's another fear I have as related to Daredevil Season 4. What I fear is that Marvel Studios will bring back Daredevil, but they're going to bring back a beta male Daredevil who is more about making quips and being funny rather than going out here and being the dark, gritty hero that was a sensation on Seasons 1 to Season 3. I fear that they may go out here and take Daredevil in a different direction, and I also fear that what they will do is go out here and instead of making Daredevil the hero of his own show, they may do what they did in the case of Moon Knight and in the case of Avengers Endgame, put the females at the forefront and put the guys in the background. And that's something I've seen again with Moon Knight, seen with Avengers Endgame with that final battle with Thanos, where we should have seen Hulk saying Hulk is the strongest one there is and punting Thanos into his own starship. Instead, we got your Wanda being given the spotlight and the females being pushed to the forefront instead of the heroes really standing out and being heroes. And that's what I fear what's going to happen with Daredevil, is they may take your Echo and your Elektra and other characters and push them to the forefront and push Matt to the background of his own show, or they may do something incredibly stupid like putting Karen Page in a costume, or they may do something like emasculate Foggy Nelson and take away much of his multidimensionality. I fear that they're going to do that with the Man Without Fear, and I fear that they may just take away all of the Man Without Fear's courage and turn him into a man without balls. That's what I fear that your Disney is going to do with a Disney Plus version of Daredevil. I fear that they're going to take away all of the hard and edgy content that made these shows compelling, because Disney has been watering down a lot of its characters, and we really don't get the heart of those characters, because your Disney, they want to go out here and give us neutered versions of those characters to make them more commercial. And oftentimes with their male heroes, they go out here and they emasculate their characters, and I really don't want to see that done to Matt, because Matt's character from Netflix was absolutely fantastic. He was rich and multidimensional, and he captured all of the heart of the darker John Romita Jr. and Nocenti runs, and that run was one that means a lot to me because that run of Daredevil was the inspiration for me creating the Matilda Crowley character and creating her Mad Matilda persona in legendary Mad Matilda and at the end of Spellbound. So that run of Daredevil, it's one of those things that really inspired me, and I really want to see that run of Daredevil come to the screen because that's what came right after Born Again, and it was some of the most compelling Daredevil stories to come out of the late 80s, and I believe if you brought those stories to the screen, they would really give us one of the most compelling fourth seasons of Daredevil, and it would bring viewers back to the character and really give them a sense of confidence as related to the Netflix heroes being brought back to the screen. Because here's an opportunity for Marvel Studios to really start picking up on some momentum as I see it, because they have not really been consistent over the last couple of years. Over the last couple of years, this Phase 4 has been really erratic and uneven, and here's an opportunity, I see it, for your Marvel Studios to get itself back on track, but they have to stop pushing characters like Daredevil to the background, stop making characters like Daredevil into beta males like they did with Thor in Love and Thunder, and really give us a strong, hard, masculine Daredevil who has no fear and will go out here and be a confident hero as he takes on one of the most dangerous villains in his rogues gallery and deals with this Typhoid Mary. I believe if they did that story, this Daredevil Season 4 could be one that knocks it out of the park and gives everybody reason to believe that Marvel Studios still has it. Because after seeing Medea Goes Gamma, She-Hulk, I really, again, don't have much confidence in Marvel Studios, but if they just let the original producers of Daredevil just leave them alone, let them do their thing, they could get Marvel Studios back in the swing of things and give everybody a plus reason to go out here and purchase a Disney Plus subscription. Now, if you want to see me do more comic-related videos like this, you can donate to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And if you want to sign up to find out when my upcoming comic, John Haynes at Death's Door, launches on Kickstarter, you can go out here and sign up for that launch. I'm hoping to launch the book on June 22nd, and I'd love to have you there to put in a pledge for John Haynes at Death's Door, the first full-featured comic on the SJS Direct imprint. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available in paperback and e-readers, ISIS Legacy. Sorority secrets of the goddess next door are revealed in this all-new ISIS series adventure. Get ISIS Legacy in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Now available in paperback and e-readers, E-Steam Horror of the Hyena Woman. Hell's aspiring angel takes on a wicked werewolf in this action-packed all-new E-Steam series adventure. Get E-Steam Horror of the Hyena Woman in paperback and e-readers today.